What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and as you guys have seen, we have the newest hero, Bonnie, in game here today. We're gonna take a look at her kit because I'm even torn whether I want to actually build this hero. As amazing as this hero looks, don't know if this is actually going to be the hero for us. Now remember, she is going to be an A-level hero, which doesn't necessarily mean not as good, but definitely feels like a win more hero and doesn't seem like a hero that's made for Dream Realm. Let's go over the skills and talk about why we think that. Number one, Death Mark Arrow. Bonnie fires magic arrow dealing damage to each enemy twice. That magic arrow deals 30% more damage to enemies that are afflicted by her aging ability, and then can also stun them for 3 seconds. Now this seems like an amazing PvP slash pushing ability for AFK battles, and I mean that's something that's very, very important in this day and age. I mean, so much power in the early season, and we're about to come up to another early season, is reliant on that crowd control. So if you can feed a bunch of energy to a hero like Bonnie, she might be able to CC the entire battlefield very, very well. So this is important. Granted, they have to have the aging effect on her, and she can't have that on the entire enemy field, which does lessen her value. Decay's Reach. So when the battle starts, she immediately casts that aging magic on the rearmost enemy. That's only one target, dealing damage and reducing their haste, which is a cool ability, but not something that's clutch necessarily. She then prioritizes attacking that target that has that aging. Whenever an allied hero deals magic damage to that enemy that has aging, the effect was further enhanced, reducing their haste even further, and each ally can only trigger this enhancement one single time. Once the aging effect reaches the maximum stacks, the afflicted suffers damage over time and reduces their reduction of their attack, and then they take damage every 1 second. So that's like kind of cool, but again, it immediately is only affecting one person on the battlefield. Nightfall Shift. Bonnie transforms into a black mist and moves to a safe spot within 4 tiles, firing 6 arrows. This is really cool because it reminds me kind of like how Lily May kind of like dashes all over the place and does a bunch of hits. Similar because she like teleports away from danger and attacks enemies multiple times. Pretty cool. She is invincible, so not invulnerable like we were talking about to control effects in the trailer. She's also completely invincible, meaning while she's teleporting, she's immune to damage as well, which is like really, really big. Her hero's focus gives her more attack, which is pretty good for offensive reasons. Then we get to her exclusive. When aging reaches its maximum stacks or an aged enemy is defeated, the effect spreads to the nearest one afflicted enemy. And of course, if you get up to plus 10 at level 3, it'll spread it to 2 targets. Now that's the only way that this aging effect really is going to take place here, because if you can cap it out pretty quickly, then it will spread to more heroes in the battlefield, even if they haven't died. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still nothing like super crazy good in my opinion, because again, once you hit that maximum stack, they are of course reduced in attack by a percentage, which is pretty strong overall for survivability reasons, and then they take damage every second, which can be cool. It just depends on how fast you can actually stack that. You're gonna need, I think, a lot of heroes made for going on backline enemies or hitting AoE targets. For Supreme Plus, when the aging effect reaches its maximum stack on an enemy, their magic damage taken is increased by 10%, with an extra 20% increase for magic damage taken from ultimates. That might have some viability in magic boss damage dealing teams, but I don't think it's going to be super great. Now, I will say that this whole effect of aging, lowering the amount of attack the enemy has is like a cool thing. The fact that it's also going to increase all magic damage taken by 10% and magic damage from ultimates by 20% has promise, because we've already had battles, and I think actually today might be one of those here in Dream Realm. I don't know if this hero is going to immediately be worthwhile, but there's definitely teams that we have very high magic damage synergy on. So we have ones mainly that I'm thinking about are ones with Lily May or someone like a Taylene. However, is she going to replace someone else to buff the damage? I don't necessarily see that. And again, Taylene is even getting moved out of the Dream Realm meta a lot as well. So the viability of this hero, I don't know about. Now, one thing we do have, we actually have in here, we got 40 summons. We do have the Rust port up rates. So here's the thing I'm actually considering here. I might just let those transfer over to regular rate ups. I think that's what they do. I believe so. Just make sure after corresponding rate up ends, any unused of that hero be converted to diamonds. 100 each. That's only 4,000. Yeah, that's not great. I guess we do want to summon for her and at least get a single copy because letting these expire really sucks. I'm actually considering using something like this. So we've had 3 Lightbearer A-level heroes come out, and to be honest, I really don't use any of them. And I got to figure out which hero is going to be the best to do, because in reality, I mean, like, this is tricky. So either way, I guess no matter what, we do need to just use our 40 invite. I just cannot foresee. This is the first hero I think since the release of the game I might not build to max. Again, we're gonna have to do some testing and stuff, but I just really don't necessarily think this hero is going to be anything game breaking or must have. She's like a nice side hero. The fact that she doesn't stun everybody on the battlefield is a big negative. Holy cow, that's gotta be like my best summon I've ever done for a raid up. That was actually shockingly good. But we'll get the 8 What a booty jiggling. Are you serious right now? Good lord. That's... I mean, I know a lot of people are going to build her. I just don't know why they wouldn't make her really strong if they wanted to people really double down. Because again, this might be something you want to do. Because again, I mean, I have both of these here. I literally have like there's almost no use doing something like this. I have all the S levels, which I do feel like most of the S levels ended up being a little bit more useful than the A levels here. I'm kind of tempted to do something like this and swap them around, because there's some of these heroes I just don't think we're necessarily going to use. So I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. We are going to actually do some testing on some other accounts with Bonnie. We're going to see how she performs. But again, when you think about the best places she could be good for, I mean, number one, I think AFK battles, but I would still say someone like Arden is just downright a better option than this hero. PvP could have some uses, but again, slowing down one enemy, maybe it's like a counter to like DNL type teams or something like that, but you need multiple targets hitting it. I can't imagine she's a very tanky hero. Besides, she does have that teleport, which does give her some good survivability. And then yeah, maybe just the fact that they're taking more magic damage might be viable next season. Like early season, Bonnie might be really, really good. But if they're only good early season, we got tons of other options for stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. This might be something you want to consider, but please give us a little bit of time. Let us decide before the end of the season if this is worthwhile, and we'll see you guys next time.